Howdy y'all, Los here. I'm with my willow leaf ficus that we just did a repot to. We'll get into that in just a moment. But if it's your first time joining us, thank you. This is a willow leaf ficus that needed much work to, at least up here, which I'm gonna skip today. I think it looks great, all nice and filled out. It needs just more room to grow, which is the whole purpose of giving it this container. So let's go back and I'll show you what we did to make this into this. We got the willow leaf ficus, which, by the way, this is the mother plant of all the other willow leaf ficus that I have. They're all root cuttings from this plant, by the way. This is the container that I've chosen. It is from a place called 10,000 Pots here in Texas. It's near like West Austin. Really cool place. They don't really have too many bonsai containers, but I was able to pick this one up for a really decent price. We're probably talking about maybe $20 for this, which is about 10 inches. All right, so the first thing first, let's get this out of the container. Now I'm thinking first, should I work on this while it's still in the container it is now, while it's nice and sturdy, before moving it into a container that I'm probably not gonna tie it down in? All right, I'm back with the decision. I thought about it for a little bit. Now, although we have elongated branches here and a lot of them from the last pruning we did of this, I definitely will reduce some of it, but I don't think I'm gonna take it down just yet, because what I've done here is guy wire these down, and you can already start seeing how this was shooting out this way. It's starting to now fold up. It's starting to grow up towards the sun, which is what I was hoping that it would do. We can see back here, if these start to get heavier and start to spread out, we'll have more depth back here as well. And I can probably achieve that by wiring, and I may do that, but I think right now the most important thing is to get this out of this container and into something that's got a little bit more growth, because I can tell you right now, this thing is ready to get out of here. So let's go ahead and get that started. I'm gonna get these guy wires off, and then we're going to prep our container. Let's do it. All right, let's see if this thing springs back at all. Definitely springing back. But we do have a little bit of a bend that has made it, which is good. Progress. Yeah, so we have a bend where there was no bend before. A little bit extra movement. Cool. All right, let's see this one. Okay, great. Just like the other one, very little spring back, but the work has been done. Now, actually feels pretty solid filling down there. Doesn't feel like it's gonna wanna spring up. Yeah, it feels pretty lignified over there, which is great news. Okay. There's like old husks of fertilizer resin there. You see that? And I noticed there's little, didn't want to do that because now I moved away the screen. First, let's get rid of this moss. That's been help keeping this nice and hydrated, and at least keeping it from drying out too quickly here in the Texas heat. Okay, we'll save that. All right, let's pop it out. This little tool can really get into some of these nooks and crannies and very gently remove soil, which is really great. As you can see, it doesn't, like, because of its plastic nature, it's not going to damage your trunks. especially this softer deciduous wood here. It's a quick little update on the Yaupon holly that we dug up a couple of years ago. It got really hit with ants to the point where I think the ants have burrowed inside and completely killed off this wonderful Yamadori. So unfortunately, I think this holly is done for, which is unfortunate because this was going to be a great piece one day, and probably the last one of these that is still surviving, or was. All the other ones that I heard of that got dug up didn't make it. So maybe it was just inevitable. This tree is gnarly. Now, for the most part, I've got all the roots that I want and that they're going out in radial, but as you can see, we've got one here that's starting to curl in. What I'm gonna do when we repot this is I'm gonna lay that flat down. We'll cut off these roots that are growing directly from underneath, and we should get ourselves a nice flat base for the most part. All right, let's get this into a container and let's move it around and try to figure out a good angle for this thing. A good front, I think, is going to be where we have that knob in front. I think the roots are a little bit more compelling in that direction. I'm just gonna kind of place it down, and I want it slightly at an angle, maybe like that. A little bit more sloped up over here. Now the roots on this side, you know, they fill up a little more and they've got more of a character, but I don't like the shape of the tree that way. But it's got a great back. The front looks really cool too. A nice spread out, sort of coming up out at you, coming up. I think I like this angle the best. All right, I'm gonna settle the roots and get them sort of placed where I like them. And we're just going to place the rest of the soil on top and work it into the soil. I want to make sure there's enough soil underneath, so I'm going to make a little pile directly underneath it. And push down and sort of wedge it in, get it into place. I want the tree to sort of lean over you a bit. I think that looks great. Let me double check, because my problem when I do these repots is I accidentally put it in just askew, and then the front will be off ever so slightly. So I want to make sure the front is actually the front that I'm going to, I think that looks great. Just looking at that, I think that's going to look wonderful. Let's go ahead and finish her off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of fertilizer to this now. I'm going to add a little bit of Osmocote down here. Give it some nutrients to get started. That way you don't see all those resin beads. All right, the repot is complete. It looks great. I'm really happy with its placement. I love the container, the composition. We're just gonna let this fill out and grow more. I think it needs a little bit more height. We removed literally almost no roots, so I think we're gonna be just fine with not removing any foliage today. I don't think we're gonna lose much at all. But I'm really happy with that. It's starting to look wonderful. I'm super stoked. Thanks for watching. Be cool, stay hip, get yourself a hobby. Bye.